public. Next tonight, with Valentine's Day fast approaching, those of you who think the whole thing's a load of schmaltzy, commercialised nonsense will be pleased to find that you've got one of Britain's finest intellects, philosopher Alain de Botton, on your side. Here he is with an attack on what he sees as the pernicious myth of romantic love.
Hello. Do you know what shape this is? It's a heart shape.
Love is a many splendid thing.
Though few of us ever enjoy Valentine's Day, which tends to remind us of the love we don't have or the relationship which went slightly wrong, like Christmas, no one ever really seems quite strong enough to dismiss the whole day either. Such is the fragility of most relationships, few couples are able to withstand a declaration like, "Darling, let's not do anything this year."
Love is the sweetest thing.
Commercial enterprises have managed to create an expensive and unshakable link, even in the minds of the most reasonable and unsentimental, between the declaration that Valentine's is not really for me and I don't love you. Let's remember that it's still only in the last few hundred years that we've asked of people in relationships that they not only be good at raising children and moderately polite, but also capable of eliciting deep emotional and intense physical desire. It was the 18th century bourgeoisie that yoked together what was pleasurable and what was necessary. They argued that there was no inherent conflict between sexual passion and the practical demands of raising children in a family unit, and that there could hence be romance within a marriage. This has created enormous problems for most of us, who are forever feeling depressed that our lives are not as romantic as they should be. Clearly, the best cure for the sickness of the soul created by Valentine's Day is a little pessimism about modern love.
Bells will ring, ting-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling, and you'll see.
Romantic pessimism can effectively console us because we're usually cast into gloom, not so much by negativity as by hope. The incompatibility between the grandeur of our aspirations and the pretty mean reality of daily life generates the violent disappointments which rack our days and etch themselves in lines of acrimony across our faces.
Darling, when we get married, we'll have
The benefits of a philosophy of romantic pessimism are nowhere more apparent than in relation to marriage, one of modern society's most grief-stricken arrangements, which has been rendered unnecessarily hellish by the astonishing proposition that it should be entered into principally for the sake of happiness. In older, more religious times, marriages, while not always cheerful, were at least spared the second order of suffering, which arises from the mistaken impression that it's somehow wrong or unjust to be miserable. Christianity, for example, presented marriage not as a union inspired and governed by enthusiasm, but rather, and more modestly, as a mechanism by which individuals could assume an adult position in society, and thence, with the help of a close friend, undertake to nurture and educate the next generation under divine guidance. Within the religious ideal, friction, disputes and boredom are signs not of error, but of life proceeding according to plan. Notwithstanding their practical approach, religions do recognize our desire to adore passionately. They know of our need to believe in others, to worship and serve them, and to find in them a perfection which eludes us in ourselves. They simply insist that these objects of adoration should always be divine rather than human. Therefore, they assign us eternally youthful, attractive and virtuous deities to shepherd us through life, while reminding us on a daily basis that human beings are comparatively humdrum and flawed creations, worthy of forgiveness and patience, a detail which is apt to elude our notice in the heat of marital squabbling. Why can't you be more perfect? This is the incensed question that lurks beneath a majority of secular arguments. In their efforts to keep us from hurling our curdled dreams at one another, religious faiths have the good sense to provide us with angels to worship and lovers to tolerate. A really romantic dinner at Valentine's Day should not be about celebrating perfection. It should be about honouring tolerance and forgiveness, for that, in the end, is closer to what real love means than a celebration of each other's beauty and brilliance.